patient is undressing your front, and you know it's not something you're comfortable with, you can't handle it, ask for a swap immediately. So you ask in this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to prepare and pass an NHS mental health support worker interview. I'm going to be sharing with you some of the questions I was asked as a mental health support worker when I applied, and I'm going to be giving you specific answers and scenarios I used to pass my interview. Do not take the NHS job or the NHS mental health support worker job as a small job. It's not a small job at all, because these people are thorough. Although they need people, they are looking for people to cover shifts and all those things, but they do not hire substandard. They hire quality people that are smart, people that are intelligent. So you must be able to express to them that you are capable up here before they will employ you, because working with mental health patients is very tasking, and they want people that are emotionally stable, intellectually stable, and all-round stable to work for them. So if you want to pass that interview, as a mental health support worker in the NHS, keep watching this video. But wait, before then, please subscribe, because I cannot give you this free information and you will not subscribe. Okay, subscribe. Thank you. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Furo, and on this channel I create content about life in the UK, living here and navigating my way through the system for the past 2 years. So if that sounds interesting to you, again I will say subscribe. So this is one video you've been waiting for, just like the title. Let's hit it. So yeah, a lot of you have been sending me a message ever since I posted some videos and saying I'm a mental health support worker. You guys have been sending me a message asking me what the interview question was like. In fact, someone left me a comment, a few people left me a comment, or like they are going for interview to share what they asked me and what the interview was like. So I decided to do this video to enable you pass your mental health support worker interview as fast as you can, I think I've gotten so much experience from mental health that I've not failed any interview. Trust me, people fail this interview. Like, you'll be hearing everybody will be telling you, oh, care work, mental health is different. Working as a mental health support worker is different from care work, okay? In mental health, they need only sound mind, people with sound minds. So when they are passing you through their interview, they are really thorough, because they don't want somebody that their brain is shaking, so you're not going to put yourself in trouble. So they always want people with sound mind. You must be able to express yourself properly, answer their question correctly before they take you. I think I've done about 4 mental health interview for permanent job, including the NHS, which I turned down 3 of them, and I decided to go with the NHS because I wanted a more flexible and better working environment. That's why I decided to go with the NHS. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you some of the questions I was asked and how I answered them, and some of the questions I'll find on Google and how you too can answer them. Okay, so I don't know if I've passed the information, but if I'm looking down, just know that I am looking down on my phone. Okay, so these ones on my phone are regular questions they will ask you, that is on the internet. You can practice, but I have other ones I've written in my notebook that I was asked. Okay guys, if this video is a bit dark, just know that I'm filming this video very late in the night, so that's why it's dark, and I just have one ring light in front of me, so I don't know. So guys, so let me answer like the ones from Google first before I'll be able to answer the ones I was asked personally. Okay, so this video, if you're able to practice or learn all this question I'm going to be answering, or memorize it or practice on your own, trust me, you're going to pass your mental health interview. One thing I've realized in mental health, they don't want you to have all the expertise, but at least they want your brain to be working. They want you to express that you have your akonche together, okay? So that is one thing about mental health. And sometimes they employ people based on experience or based on inexperience. Like for me, I was employed as an experience, so they asked me really, really thorough question because I was employed as experienced, support worker in mental health. But if you're employed as a non-experienced, they're just going to ask you like general questions, no, really core questions. It's just general questions they're going to ask you. So let's see, like for people that they're employing unexperienced, okay? So they are going to ask you the first question, in every interview is, can you tell us about yourself? Don't start telling them that, oh, you are Ojuku's wife, you are Mamaka. You leave all those things. Make sure that all whatever you're answering them is within the job. So can you tell us about yourself? My name is blah blah blah. I just graduated from the university, or I'm a dependent for my husband. I'm really passionate about working in mental health. I've had experience. I'm a really passionate person. I love to help people. I love to support people as much as I can. Something like that, okay? Something like that, like something that relates to, they want somebody that is passionate. I'm a very caring person. I can't stand, when people bully others, something like that, okay? Because these are the qualities they need for you to be a mental health support worker. So why not tell them that you have these qualities? So don't go and tell them I'm from a boy state, but make sure you tell them something that will, that will sound sweet in the interviewer's ear. You understand? Sometimes they will ask you, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Oh, I am looking forward to starting this job as a mental health support worker, because I know that in 5 years time I have the zeal of going back to university to go, study and become a mental health nurse. If God willing, I'm seeing myself as a mental health nurse and progressing in my career. Pam, full stop. Interviewers in the UK do not want long stop. Don't give them long story. They don't need your long story. Full stop. Nice and sweet. Short. Very, very short. Nice and sweet. Full stop. The next thing they might ask you is things like, what are your notable strengths and weakness? So your strength, you can say, I'm very proactive. I'm someone that, can function independently with little or no direction. They need those kind of people. So you say that is your strength. And what are your weaknesses? Don't go and start telling them, oh, if I thief, or oh, if you just carry something, or if you carry my way, fine, come my side, I will just be weak. No, you can go and say, my weakness are, for instance, like I hardly ask for help. I always make sure I have exhausted myself before I ask for help. That is your weakness, okay? That's your weakness. You mustn't say exactly this, but you can say something around it. So make sure that everything you're answering is related to the job. Don't go outside the job. It's related to the job. Somehow you will coin it. It will, come out very nicely. It's related to the job. So the next one they might ask you, can you explain why you decided to change career path? So in this case, it might be someone that is they would have asked you your career path before now. Okay, what have you done before now? And you say, oh, blah 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 blah. So they would have say, okay, why did you decide to be a mental health support worker? For me, they asked me that question. I said to them, I just relocated from Nigeria to the UK to do my master's. I was looking for any job I can find at the time, and I found myself being a support worker, working for agency in a mental health hospital. I was unexperienced at this point, but as I started working there, I developed passion, because I'm a very passionate person, and because I feel like I have the care. I have a caring heart. I felt so indebted to these people. I felt like my presence in their lives or in the environment will help them a lot of way. And I begin to like the job. I developed passion for the job. So that is why after I've graduated, I decided to further my career in mental health. Make sure you give them that bobo. You might say it's sweeter than me. So call your own words. Say it as nice as you can. make sure there's enough bobo in it, because if there's no bobo you're not getting this job. Don't think because they are looking for people is that easy. No, it's not that easy. You must pass the interview, because when I did my interview I met friends who did not pass. So you must pass the interview before you can be hired. They don't just hire you because, oh, we're looking for people, so let's just pack people. If you don't pass the interview, they will not hire you. So they'll ask you, describe your relationship with your former colleague. You say cordial. Okay, cordial. We have a cordial relationship. We have a open relationship, a work relationship. I never had issues with the people I work with, or I worked with. We're just okay. Okay, so at this point, person might not even go further. So they'll ask you another one, can you tell me your ability to work under pressure? We should know all these things, that we can work under pressure. Hey, we can work under pressure. So that one, it depends on you, your ability. Tell them your ability, that I can work under pressure. You give them scenarios. They like scenarios. For instance, oh, for me, how I understand I can work under pressure. Sometimes, okay, for example, when I was, in the university doing my masters, I had deadlines to meet up assignment. I had case to handle, and I made sure that I turn up this assignment even when my kids are not feeling okay, or when I still have to meet up with my mommy duties. I make sure under pressure I'm able to submit this assignment as of when due. I do not take like permissions. I do not take excuses. I submit this assignment as of when due. You don't need to speak too much English. I don't speak too much grammar in interviews. Just answer it the way they ask you. Don't look for any big English, because big English can confuse your life. So answer it the way they ask you. So now I will be taking some from questions from some of the ones I was asked. So these are general questions. If you are just someone that employing, like first time in working in mental health, you've not worked in mental health, unexperienced person, these are the general questions they are going to ask you. But for you that they are employing as experience, so just like I said in the beginning of the video, I was employed as experience. So these are the questions they asked me. Can you mention some part of mental health, some words in mental health? So just like hospital, they have words in mental health. So can you mention, oh guys, I am dry, my throat is dry, I'll come back. Welcome back, guys. So let's continue. I just took a break. So they'll ask you, what are the words, since you said you have experience in working in mental health, what are the words in mental health? And I'd worked in was acute, PQ, and forensic. So they just want to know if you are the kind of person that is present in your job, because some people might be working like 10 years, 5 years in this mental health. They might not know the word, because all they are interested is in just to get the money and go home. They don't care about what's going around there. So they don't want that kind of people. So that's why they're asking you this question. Another question they'll ask you is, what notable skills do you possess that will help you be effective in your job? That is one question they ask me, and they might ask you also, because these jobs, they all have templates for what they are doing. So number one, you can say, I am very patient, and having worked in the mental health environment, I realize that most of the patients have time when they have these traumas, and when they are having crisis, and my attribute as a very patient person will help me be patient, to understand and hear what they have to say. Let them express themselves. So for me to be effective in this role, my attribute as a patient person will help me. Another question they will ask you is, so tell us a scenario where you have inconvenienced yourself just to put yourself in the shoe of your patient. So when they ask me this question, it might not be exactly what I'm saying, but it's exactly what I said is what the person implied. And I just said to myself, so they might not ask you exactly the way I'm saying it. They might ask you in a different form or in a different language, because English is like, so what you have to do is understand first what they're asking you, okay? So and make sure you assimilate and understand. If you don't hear what they are saying, ask them again until they tell you what they are saying and you understand it. Don't overdo it. Don't go and be asking too much question, reasonable question. You can say repeat, I don't understand, can you ask that again, something like that. So if they ask you, tell us a scenario where you have inconvenienced yourself or where you have tried to put yourself in in the people, your patient's shoe, or the people you're caring for shoe. So for me, for instance, when I was asked this question, I said to them, there was an instance where I used to work in a mental health hospital, and it was a deaf mental health hospital. I had to start learning sign language just to be able to communicate with these people. Though I did not have a lot of time because my hands were really full, I'm really busy, I'm a mom of 3, and also I go to work, but I still had to carve out time to make sure I learn sign language, just to make sure I fit in their shoe and be able to serve them better. You see, so they always need scenarios. Look for scenarios, okay? Look for scenarios you will give to them whenever you are answering questions. Don't just give them the answer. Look for scenarios. Always use, for instance, for example, always use those things, okay? Another question they might ask you, this is called mental health. Now, somebody who had experience, they might ask you questions like, if you're an ops and a crisis is happening the next door, what do? You do not move. You sit where you are. If you're the only one observant of the crisis, you shout for help, for other staff to come and help the person. But if you're not the only one, other people are helping the person, don't move. Sit in your ops, because if you move from your ops, you might endanger the life of the person that you are caring for. So they will ask you that question. So if they will say, if you've had experience, okay, that means you've done the training and all those things. So you should know. Another question they might ask you is, if a patient is coming to attack you, do you stand and attack the person back, or do you fight back? What do you do? So when they ask you that question, you don't go about saying, oh, if they come after me, I will just kill them or I will just beat them out. You look for the closest exit and escape. These are the questions they will ask you, and these are some of the answers or scenarios you give to them. Another very important question they will ask you is, how do you manage yourself when you're stressed? So you can just say, oh, I take a walk, I drink water, just say something. That one is not really a big deal, so you can just say something. Or if you're outraged by a patient, what do? You ask for a swap. Probably a patient is doing something that you can't handle, okay? So let's say you're a male and the patient is undressing your front, and it's not something you're comfortable with, you can't handle it. Ask for a swap immediately. So you ask for a swap immediately, so that way they will know that, oh, this person is experienced, this person actually works in mental health, this person knows what they are doing. Okay, so it's not really hard to get into mental health and start working if you know your onion, if you listen to your question very well, if you answer rightly. It's not really hard. I might not have given you a lot of detailed question in this video because I was just reading off my head. It's been almost a year or so that I went for the interview, so I've forgotten a lot of the things they asked me, but these are the few I could remember. So if you have any question, or if you have any mental health question you think they've asked or they will ask, please leave them in the comment section. I'll be replying, or I will do another video after this one. Thank you so much for watching. Until I see you in another video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye bye.